Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Turn the Tassel Show. My name is Stephen Anderson. I'm your host, and as always, we're here to help you and the people you love get to and through college, university, and trade schools earlier on time with minimum to no debt. And today we're going to talk about student debt and financial cheating. Student debt and financial cheating. You know, there's a term, in marriage relationships, infidelity used to be one of the reasons for what was granted as divorce with cause. So before there was no fault divorce in this country, you had to essentially prove that that your spouse did something wrong in order to get the divorce and qualify for support after during the process, but also in form of alimony and that kind of thing through the divorce process. And it was this idea that if one or the other was unfaithful in the marriage, in other words, committed adultery, which is emotional infidelity and physical infidelity, or also in cases where someone had a severe gambling problem, for example, they would be considered to have been financially unfaithful, financially, it would have been considered infidelity by way of financial infidelity, because if your innocent spouse was unaware that you were gambling away all your money or spending away all your money, etc., that would be grounds for divorce with cause. The cause being you financially ruined yourself and your spouse, and they were innocent in the process. And so you would be granted not only the divorce in that situation, but you'd also be granted the right to have spousal support or alimony if you if it was just you, and child support if it was you and the and you had children. Okay, so we're going to look at a video here, and I've put the link to this video. We're going to talk about this because what's happened is student loans have become so large and so bad that many people are entering relationships and they're not disclosing to their significant other the extent or the full extent of how much they owe. And in doing so, they are committing financial infidelity. And so we want to talk about this so that we understand that, knowing that money fights and money problems tend to be it's the number one cause of divorce right now in America. You can see how this ballooning debt problem really has far-reaching implications. And so let's go ahead without further ado and cut to camera number 2.
Study has looked into financial infidelity. That's when couples keep secrets about things they buy, their credit card or bank accounts. According to creditcards.com, 32% of people in serious relationships are keeping some sort of financial secret. 9% say they're holding secret debt. And that's causing some couples to rethink how they approach their finances. Here's CNBC's Sharon Epperson.
Melissa Houston started with small indulgences.
I'd buy bags and clothing and shoes and stuff for the house.
Then moved on to major purchases.
I need to renovate the house. We need to put a swimming pool in.
As her spending increased, her family's finances spiraled into massive debt.
I went off the rails and I accumulated over $100,000 worth of debt through credit.
And she hid it from her husband.
You racked up about $100,000 worth of credit card debt, but your husband didn't know about most of it. How were you able to keep that a secret?
So because I'm the finance person in the family, he trusted me with doing the day-to-day, financial management of the household.
A former accountant turned entrepreneur, she eventually confessed. Now the couple is working through this crisis together.
It took him a long time to trust me again.
43% of adults admit to committing financial infidelity against their partner.
Hiding financial information, financial transactions from your partner in a situation where they want to know, and that keeping the information from them is harming them.
Jill Hastay, author of Intimate Lies and the Law, says discovering deception is often difficult.
We want to trust our intimates. Society tells us to trust our intimates. And it's very hard to overcome that.
Yet 39% of adults avoid talking about money with their partner. Kelsey DiCarlo hesitated discussing money with her boyfriend at first.
There was months of discomfort, me skirting the issue, me no longer sharing anything about money with him.
When they decided to move in together, conversations about her student loan debt and his desire to buy property were more honest.
Finally reaching the point of comfort and trust to say, I know this is something you want to do, but I'm not ready. Where do we go from here?
She revealed she didn't want to co-own property yet. He bought the place on his own.
It does take effort. It's not always an organic conversation.
Experts say building those talks into a relationship can help build trust. And if you combine finances, review bank statements and credit card bills for accounts you hold jointly, as well as joint tax returns to make sure that you and your partner are on the same page.
Excellent. So we'll go ahead and stop it there. Why does this matter? Why is this important? Well, so one of the things, relationships require trust. They require trust. Without trust, the intimacy in a relationship dies. It's just what it is. And so entering a relationship under false pretenses is not only, I'll say, immoral to the extent that you're not giving the person your real self. And again, it doesn't mean that I'm not talking about, and I want to, again, sweeping generalization, right? Sweeping generalization here. It doesn't mean that when you don't know what you don't know, right? And you uncover things later on in your relationship dynamic. It doesn't mean that you were being dishonest when there are things about your own self per se that you don't know. But you can't say that your debt or level of indebtedness is something you didn't know. And certainly once you're in the relationship, like what we saw with the first woman, when you are, willfully hiding things from your spouse, financial decisions that you're making without them that impact them, that is financial infidelity. That is cheating financially. And again, back in the day when you had to divorce with cause, that was a justifiable cause. You could divorce your spouse simply because they were unfaithful with your finances, just like you could divorce them if they were unfaithful with another person. Okay. So this situation is important to point to, because so many Americans now with $1.73 trillion student loan debt, so many people are walking around, 60% of which are women. Sadly, that's, 60% of the student loan debt crisis that we have in this country belongs to women. And as women then seek to pursue relationships, and of course, it doesn't matter what gender or orientation, but as they seek to pursue relationships, many women are opting not to tell their significant others up front that they have this going on, because they know that for many people, six-figure student loan debt would be a deal breaker. And so keeping that information away from someone that you are romantically interested in and allowing them to draw close to you and give their heart to you and ultimately become emotionally involved with you is unethical. It's unethical to do that. It's wrong to do that to somebody, because now they're emotionally attached and involved. They are perhaps hurt that you kept something so big from them and feel violated. And yet they also still very much love you. And that puts people in a position to where they have to decide, do I walk away from someone that I genuinely love and care about, or do I stay and stick it out, and not just stick it out and hope that they never do it again, but also help clean up the fiscal mess, to pay back the debt that was brought in and not disclosed. And so one of the best ways to avoid this situation is to not get in it in the first place. That's the best case scenario. If you are someone who's going to getting ready to go to college, or perhaps looking into college, or if you're an adult learner and you're trying to figure out how to go back to college and that kind of thing, be upfront, be open, and be honest with your spouse or your significant other. Share that information either beforehand, afterwards, but more importantly, get a plan together so that you don't have to get into this kind of debt in the first place. Because, we all want to be loved and we all want to be accepted for who we are. That's a normal human, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We need those things to as people. So there's nothing wrong with that. But you pierce yourself when you put yourself in a position where you likely discredit your ability to engage in a meaningful relationship with a lot of people who otherwise would, when you're carrying that much debt. And so the temptation then becomes, well, let me not disclose how much debt I'm carrying so that they'll fall in love with me. And then, once we're in love, I'll let them know, and then we can work on it together. That's wrong. That is wrong. It's wrong to do that to someone. That's manipulative, and it's very selfish. And so what would I say? I would say avoid it altogether. But also, if you find yourself in that position where you have the debt, you already made the mistake, be upfront with the people that you're dealing with emotionally as far as relationships. Be upfront about it. It will hurt if they decide that it's not, if they decide it's a deal breaker. That will hurt. But I can promise you it won't hurt as much as it does when, after you've invested in one another, they find out that you lied to them. Well, I didn't say anything. Right. You didn't say anything. That's a lie of omission. That's no different than a lie of commission, saying a lie and misleading someone deliberately. You can do that by disclosing information, and you can do that by withholding information. So don't do that. Instead, be honest, be upfront with people. And as it relates to your education, have a plan. Get a plan together. That's why we're here at Turn the Task Consulting Group. We're here to help people to get a plan in place that helps them to find the right fit, whether it be college, university, or trade school. The right fit at the right price point that you can actually afford, so that you can get to and through college, university, or the trade schools earlier on time with minimum to no debt, so that when you get out, you can actually benefit from the credential. And so can your spouse or significant other, because you're not spending more than 40% of your take-home pay back for 120 months to pay off the debt you borrow. We're here to help you. 484-574-1866. Email at turningtassel@gmail.com. Subject line, I need a plan. We will craft one with you for free. Free consultation. This is Stephen Ampersand and Turn the Tassel Show.